So you're 45, 50, or maybe a little bit older, and you've been thinking about booking your first cruise. Well, congratulations. You may have already booked your first cruise and thought, ugh, did I miss something? I totally get that. My name is David, and I like to help Gen Xers or honorary Gen Xers travel with a little less stress, whether it be boarding your flight, booking the right hotel, checking in the hotel, picking that Uber or Lyft, and then, of course, getting on that ship. A good trip plan is more than just picking a cruise out and saying, Bon voyage, I'm out of here. It's more than that. You really want to look at, I don't want to spend more than I need to, but I want to get everything that I want. So we like to put that together. So you really want to pick a good cruise line for you. You really want to pick a good itinerary for you. You want to learn a few hacks along the way that help make your travel, airport, hotel, cruise ship, make all of that possible with as less stress as you can have. Today's topic that we're going to talk about is choosing the right cruise line for your first cruise. Your cruise line choice can make or break your trip. Choose wrong, and you might end up in a floating frat party. Or you could be 30 years younger than everybody else on the ship. They all go to bed at 8:30, and you're left going, what's going on? You know? So you really want to pick the right cruise line. We're going to help you do that today. Not all cruise lines are created equal. I sometimes like to think of them as gigantic floating hotels. And some of them are all-inclusive resorts, and they're very lively. They've got something going on 24/7. And some are very elegant, quiet, boutique retreats. Today, I'm going to go through a few cruise lines that I think are really good for Gen Xers. I'm a Gen Xer myself, so a lot of these are just my own opinions and experience that I've had. So let's dive in. The first line we're going to talk about is Princess Cruises. Princess Cruise Lines happens to be my favorite. Let me tell you why. This little thing right here, this medallion, means so much to me. I love the technology that Princess has. This right here you can wear on your watch, you can put it on a necklace, you can put it on in your pocket or whatever. But what it does, it gives you access to your room, it acts as your credit card, it acts as your boarding pass. I mean, you can get on and off the ship when you're at ports. Scan that thing in, scan out, scan in. Here's something else it does. When you leave your cabin, it lets the room steward know that, hey, they're out of the cabin, I can go in and clean. It also will lock the door behind you because you left. And sometimes, we may forget that, hey, did I lock the door or not? No worries with that. It's going to lock it behind you. And when you're coming back to the cabin, and it recognizes that you're coming, and it opens the door. Not literally, but it unlocks it so you can just grab the handle and walk right in. I like to think of Princess Cruises as more of an elegant type ship and more of a relaxing type ship. I like it because it's somewhere you can go, and you can go out and enjoy something all day and come back at night, have a great dinner because the food is fantastic. I love the main dining room on Princess Cruises. And then you can go catch a show. Some of the shows are classic, like think Broadway classical, or you can go see a comedian, you can go play bingo, you can go do a lot of things. And maybe if you even want, you can get into the marriage game, which I will say is pretty interesting. I think everyone who's been on a Princess Cruise and who's played that marriage game or seen that marriage game will think, yes, quite interesting. But look, there's so much to do. You can go out on the excursions, come back in the evenings, and just relax. I like to think of it as you get best of both worlds, but that's kind of my personal opinion because it is my favorite. Next is Celebrity Cruises. Celebrity is more of a modern luxury type cruise for me. I think it's more stylish. The food is top notch on Celebrity, and it's an adult friendly vibe. My personal favorite thing about Celebrity is the solarium. I love going to the solarium. My wife loves it too. It's her favorite spot. I think the lounge chairs are better in there. The pool is, I think, more like a resort type pool. It's glassed in. It's got a little bit of air conditioning. The last one we were on was in the Caribbean, so it's a little bit hot, but Inside there, it was cooler than it was setting out on the deck in the pool. So if you want to be outside and around the pool, sunning it up, great. If you'd rather be in a little bit more of an air-conditioned setting, the solarium is right for you. Plus, no kids in there. If you're looking for something a little bit more slower paced, maybe something that's a little bit more educational or what have you, I think Holland America may be a good fit for you. I will say it skews a little bit older, okay? But I have an uncle. When he was 30, he acted like he was 60. Now that he's over 60, he's just now starting to act his age. So if that's you, you may think, hey, I can do Holland because it does skew a little bit older. But I will say, Holland it's a peaceful ship. They're a little bit smaller, more quaint, very nice. Dining is excellent. So if you want something that's a little bit less crowded, a little bit educational, Holland may be a good fit for you. Now, if you like big ships and you cannot lie, you're going to want to look at Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean right now has the 2 largest ships at sea. Okay, but if you're not into those ginormous ships, you want something a little bit smaller, but you're still taking the family along, you can still go with Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean is known for its big ships and rock climbing walls and slides and ice skating and just chaos and adventure all together 24 hours. And it's just go, go, go. They have great restaurants. But what you might not know about Royal Caribbean is they have a lot of smaller vessels that are just as fun, but maybe a little less chaotic because there's a little fewer people. So if the big ship's not you, but you still got the family and you want to take and make sure to get a multi-generational great time, Royal Caribbean might be what you want to look for. If you're working with an agent, which I suggest you do, is you ask them, what are some smaller vessels that Royal Caribbean has? Where do those go out of? And what's their itineraries look like? I would look at that as well. That leads me to my next one, and this is actually is going to be the next cruise that I take, is MSC. I've not been on MSC before, and I can't wait. Just in a few months, going to be on my first MSC ship. But one of the things about MSC is it's more European styled, a little bit maybe more luxurious or elegant, if you will. They're starting to make a really big splash in North America, especially with the new big ship that they have out here, World America. But their smaller ones or their older ones or lesser known ships are really nice. They're very beautiful, very elegant. Their private island, though, from what I hear, their private island is probably one of the best, if not the best, and I can't wait to tell you more after I go there in a couple of months. You could find a little bit of a mixed vibe on MSC from what I understand. Could be a little bit more family friendly sometimes and then a little bit more refined. Now, if you're listening along and you say, David, I haven't heard anything about kids. Does it have kids? No kids? Well, all of the cruise lines that I've talked about so far, kids are allowed. Doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of kids on there. Quite frankly, Princess, Celebrity, Holland, probably not going to be a lot of kids. Matter of fact, with Princess, I mean, I was on a ship that the last ship I was on, the Sun Princess, over 4,000 people. I maybe saw 20, 25 kids the whole time. I mean, probably more than that, but that's what I felt like. And then Celebrity, the last Celebrity ship I was on, same thing, maybe 15, 20 kids. But if you're looking for something where there's absolutely no children, you may want to look at Virgin Voyages. As I said, no kids. It's all adults only. Now, Virgin Voyages is a little bit trendy. Kind of think chic hotel. Kind of think DJ at night. Think a few more parties. But also, you can unwind as well. I think Virgin Voyages does a really good job of trying to cater to everyone and make everyone feel included, from your party goer to your non-party goer. I think they try to make sure that everyone has a great time. Now, if you're going on your first cruise, I must warn you with Virgin Voyages, they're not the same as everybody else. They're completely different. They're kind of turning the cruise world kind of on its ear a little bit with some of the things that they're doing differently. There's no formal dining room. There is no buffet. They have maybe, think of their buffet more of a food hall where you go in, sit down, order your food from different restaurants, and you can go and they'll bring it to you. Or they have restaurants throughout the ship that you can make reservations at and go to multiple different restaurants on the ship. But again, like I said, no main dining room. I haven't been on Virgin Voyages yet, but I cannot wait to do it. One other thing I'll say about Virgin Voyages, if you do go on their ship and they take you to Bimini Beach Club, go. It's amazing. I have been to Bimini Beach Club. Not on Virgin, but with another line, I've been to their beach club there, and I loved it. I am a beach guy. I love to go to the beach. It was amazing. They had pools, they had bars, they had the beach, plenty of seats for everyone, umbrellas for everyone. It was wonderful. So if you go to a Caribbean cruise with Virgin, you're probably going to stop at their beach club. Man, it's worth it. The role of a good travel agent is more than just helping you find the cheapest cruise or the cheapest package out there. And you really should be looking for something that's not necessarily the cheapest that you can just get. Because if you only look for the cheapest, you may not find what you're looking for. A lot of times people will just say, oh, that's the cheapest one. That's the one I want to go with. And then they go and they go like, wow, this isn't what I expected. Well, sure, it isn't. Did you take the time to look at everything that you wanted to do? Did your agent talk you through, hey, is this what you really like? Is this not what you like? I think a good agent should ask you lifestyle questions, right? Are you more of a morning person who likes to get up, drink your coffee, read a book, something like that? Are you more of somebody who wants to go out in the evenings and dance and be the life of the party? You need to ask a series of questions. I like to send folks a list of questions and say, answer these questions. And if they don't want to answer them, and write them back or email them back to me, we can jump on a call and I'll talk through them. Tell me what you really want to do here. Is there a specific port you want to go to? Is there a specific activity that you're looking for? Do you just want to go and sit on the ship and unwind? Do you just want to relax? Or do you just want to go and dance your hind end off? What do you want to do? So I like to ask a bunch of questions like that just so we kind of get a good feel of it, because what you're looking for may not be the cheapest out there. It could be, but you also need to know if it is or if it isn't, because there can be a lot of fees in cruising that you're unaware of. And if we're not walking through everything together, if a travel agent isn't walking through everything together and asking you those questions, you could miss a lot of little fees here or there that you didn't expect or you didn't think of, or that you had to spend because you picked the cheapest cruise, but then it has the most expensive, it might have the most expensive excursion, or it might have the most expensive drink package or Wi-Fi package. So you really want to look at everything all together, okay? And if your agent isn't doing that for you, that's a big red flag. The goal is to match the cruise with your energy, not just your budget. Your first cruise should feel like it was custom made for you, not that you accidentally booked someone else's cruise. If you choose wisely, you're already steps ahead of most first-time cruisers. And it seems like if you're watching this video, that's what you're trying to do, is to educate yourself and get as familiar as you possibly can with cruising. And I commend you for that. If you found any of this helpful, please hit the subscribe button, like, and share. We would love for you to pass it along. Until next time, relax, explore, and repeat.